So as production manager, once we've chosen the show, which is usually quite a debate amongst the team, it's then my job to decide on the budget for the show, so how many tickets we think we can sell and then what money we've got to spend. And then once we do that, we apply for the rights, and hopefully we get them. We're not always that lucky. And then we wait a bit. We apply for the rights probably a year in advance, so then we wait a little bit, and during the summer, that's when we arrange all the auditions and what dates we're going to do everything. So we come back after the summer and we go into the auditions and publicise the event, and hopefully we get enough turnout to get a decent cast out of that. While this is going on, I'm behind the scenes and I'm sort of working out on publicity design so we can actually sell the show. I'm starting to work out a set, because once we go into rehearsals straight after auditions, we need to know the set we're going to be performing on. So once the set has been designed, we can then go into rehearsals. So another one of my roles is I have to book all the rooms, so it's all the logistics of making sure that the cast have got somewhere to rehearse. Again, while this is going on, there's sort of many different veins to my job. I go and look at equipment to hire. So the lighting, the sound, any set that we need to hire, any props and costumes, all of that needs hiring in. And the further in advance you do it, the easier it's going to be to get the stuff you want. So then it kind of just carries on for a bit until just before Christmas, when I'll start to organise the tech team, our wonderful group of student techies that do a marvellous job, and I definitely couldn't do it without them. So then I will look at purchasing things. So the directors will ask me to purchase props and costumes and all that sort of stuff. All of the money side of things comes through me.
Coming up towards 2 weeks before the show, the ball is really in my court then. As technical coordinator, it's my job to sort of delegate sort of smaller tasks within the things that we're doing, like so building the set, working with all the techies that we've got to make sure that everything gets finished before the show, and that we get all the sound effects, the pre-show announcement, get the patch list and get all the tech stuff that we need sorted before the show. So once the staging has arrived from 3D Productions, who we hire the stage from, we have to lug it all inside, so we have to get everyone down to come and pick everything up and lift it inside, because a lot of it is rather heavy equipment. And then the next day we start building the stage. So we start off with the base stage, which is, this year was quite a lot of staging. I think it's the biggest we've ever had,
Yeah.
Was it? So yeah, we had like full-on wings. Then we had the band rail, and then the set roster, and then they had all the handrails that had to be put up, which are a bit of a pain to put up and never fit properly. Then we had to put all the flats and all the set that we painted and built in the previous weeks onto the stage. So for this one we had full-on built wings, which we haven't had before. And then once we'd done that, we started to actually get on with our job of doing all the technical stuff, so making sure that all the lights were working, all rigged and all pointing in the right places. Then my job as sound engineer as well, as technical coordinator, was to make sure that the band could hear themselves, which on the Sunday, was a little bit of a nightmare and didn't go to plan.
Not everything does,
Not everything does go to plan, but by the end of the week it was working. So we had the rehearsals. So we have to go through as the tech crew and look at each scene, decide what we want sound-wise, decide what we want lighting-wise, and get everything set up on our computers and our sound desks, lighting desks, get it all programmed and working correctly, so that when it comes to the show, it's as easy as possible for us to basically just hit go and then just sort of micromanage it a little bit ourselves. But yeah, in the shows, the run up to the show is about 5 o'clock. Everybody comes in, we get ready, we start to set up any last bits that we need to, and then coming up to 6 o'clock we have our cast mic check. So everybody comes on stage, and me and Kishan do sound, so we sort everyone's mics out, make sure they're working, test them, set the levels and everything. Then about 20 past 6 we have the band call, so make sure everything in the band's working, we can hear them and that everything is set to the right levels. And then about 10 minutes before the show I'll just do a final check of batteries to make sure that everyone's charged up and is ready to go. And then at the interval, the only thing really to do is again check the batteries, make sure that everything's still working, fix any problems that we've encountered in the first half, and then if it's something that's unfixable, then we've just got to make do and try the best that we can.
Yep.
And then it comes to the get out day, where we basically have from 7 in the morning till about 5 in the afternoon to get everything tidied, packed away and ready to go back off to 3D productions. Basically undoing everything that took us 8 days to put up. We've got to undo that in pretty much sort of 8 or 9 hours, really just crack on through it and get as much of it done as we can. Firstly, obviously getting all the wires, all the technical gear out as soon as we can, before we basically just have to heave and absolutely get everything down, packed away as quickly as we possibly can, and then get everything out to the front and ready to be packed away and taken away in the truck. Yeah, I'd say to anyone who's going to join the tech team, it's this is definitely the hardest day and the most work you'll probably put in a single day in your entire life. And by the end of it, your back will be aching, your hands will be ruined, and you'll just want to sleep for 2 days.
Any more to add to that?
No, I don't think so. I think
No.
you've covered everything quite well. I think this is the first year we've been show ready by the
Yeah,
dress
exactly.
rehearsal, which was
And
quite,
we thought
was
we
quite
felt
nice.
quite
Yeah, quite calm.
surprisingly calm this time.
Having Matthew around as a calming influence.
Very much so. I'm glad to hear it. So yeah, we'll see. Well, he'll see you next year for our house then, I guess.